Hi. But you can just simply call me Amazon, and this is Desert Golf. Desert Golf is a very simple game. You only have a single button to press and the mouse to control the ball. I mean, starting the game looks like this. A small window just appears, with no way in-game to go full screen. There are actually no settings here at all. Pressing the escape key just turns the game off. There's no level selection or much of anything actually. The game also looks extremely simple. 2 primary colors, an orange on the ground and another orange in the sky. It's so simple that my hour-and-a-half long recording is only about 300 megabytes, compared to one of my many Dark Souls recordings where the same length is almost 25 gigabytes. Actually crazy. On the top of the screen we see the amount of shots taken. On the flag marking the hole we see what hole we're on. The map itself seems generated. I only say that because this game has at least thousands of holes. I don't know where the actual end of the game is, but the sheer number points to some kind of procedural generation happening. There are plenty of theories I could propose that contradict this though, but I don't want to ruin the surprise. Beyond this, very little happens in the game. It's a simple time waster that promotes double-clicking on its little icon in the Steam library, and when you're done with it, just press escape and the game vanishes in a second. In and out. But I wanted more. I sat down and very deliberately played this game like I would any other, letting its claws slowly but surely grab a hold of me. I challenge myself, with the help of my beloved Patreon subscribers, to reach hole number 1000. I figured I would be a certified professional by that point and more than satisfied with the price of the game. The first 100 holes were fun, just because I was still wrestling with the controls a fair bit. I broke up the silence with a fun trickshot or a hole-in-one by aiming almost straight up. It was fun to experiment with the physics of the ball for a while, but as I passed 100, going to 1000 felt like a huge undertaking. The first 100 took me just under 50 minutes. 50 times 10 divided by 60, that's almost 8.5 hours in the game. That's a long time just staring at 2 colors and dragging your mouse. But I didn't stop. I just kept going to see how far I was willing to take my boredom. I stopped that day at 200, my recording reading an hour-and-a-half. I mostly stopped not because of the boredom actually, but because I could feel myself somehow becoming frustrated at myself. My shot count had skyrocketed and came close to 400 at hole 150. I was almost embarrassed to record myself being such a bad shot. The controls were starting to wear on my sanity a bit too. Waiting for the ball to settle and slow down to a standstill while just looking at it move pixel for pixel, wanting to hit my next shot was honestly draining. 1000 holes felt like a mistake at this point. Day 2 I set out to do another 200. I didn't. I was just not in the mood for another grueling 200 holes, another hour-and-a-half of nothing in the boring desert. I was just not having fun. I missed more shots here and I felt more frustrated. The ball felt slower and more cumbersome to move. I eventually settled into the uncomfortable rhythm of it all and just pushed through. 10 holes at a time. 230, 240, 250, all the way to 300. But then something extraordinary happened. At hole 316, 862 shots in, almost 3 hours into this simple, mindless game, a new primary color appeared. A green, admittedly poorly drawn cactus graced my screen with its presence. I just sat there for a while. It sounds stupid, but after almost 3 hours of nothing, this was a revelation. A devoutly religious person would call this a sign to keep going. To me, it meant that there was something more than just a top and bottom color, the UI and the flag. I had something to look forward to. And the moment passed. A cactus had been the most exciting thing to this point. At last, something to break up the monotony of the seemingly endless expanse of the desert golf course. I was content. I was okay with the monotonous now. I had something to look forward to, even though the things I was looking forward to were mere fleeting moments of respite from the harsh two-tone desert. These moments were more memorable than entire games and media I have consumed just because of how much they stood out from the rest of the game. I learned to find the beauty in this monotony, shifting my perspective to appreciate the subtleties and nuances in these everyday, seemingly mundane experiences. It's about recognizing the value and richness that consistency and routine can bring to my life. This concept is pretty personal and very subjective, varying greatly from one individual to another. Being fully present in the moment and dragging the mouse over this stupidly simple level to line up the perfect shot can transform a mundane task into something special. Not every time. I still got very frustrated at certain shots I had to do. Some days I ended my session early because a friend wanted to play something else, and I jumped at the opportunity. But the routine of doing a couple of 100 holes every day became, just like any other routine, just that, a routine. Something that just needs to be done every day or every week. It was calming, sometimes frustrating. I had to focus, sometimes. I was grateful when I saw something special in the grey. Faces in the clouds, or like in the game, a face on the side of a wall. Or this, a physics object, just like the ball, in the form of a polygonal stone. This was the most exciting thing I found in the entire game, save for the water I found on another hole. Something to interact with. Sure, it added shots to the counter above, but I just didn't care at all. I felt like the astronaut in that one movie finally finding a way to communicate with the outside world. Something to interact with that wasn't just another sandy track of varying quality. I found patterns in the variations. Some levels wanted me to land on a plateau of some kind, requiring precision and accurate power. Other levels were flat and simple, wanting me to experiment with the power of my shots to hit a hole in one. Others were filled with triangular holes to make me frustrated with their stupid placements. I have to admit that by the end I was dreading hole number 1000. The loss of something so simple as a monotonous routine can feel wrong. Not brushing your teeth isn't just kind of yucky, but also weird. I feel like less of a human when I forget. I didn't do one of the few things I really should do every day. I can't say that the journey was totally stupid. Setting a big goal and actually completing it is a great exercise in discipline. It sounds stupid, it frankly is stupid, but doing something kind of boring for a long time is a good thing. It makes you truly think for once. I write this with Jungle DNB in my ears, a paused YouTube video on my right screen, and with a Discord server sometimes reminding me of the outside world on my left screen. Life is exciting. 1000 holes of golf are boring. But being bored is healthy. It lets you really reflect for once in this world of noise we live in. I don't remember ever being genuinely bored for more than a couple of minutes at a time outside of working in my entire adult life. Outside of my peculiar challenge and ultimately pointless but amusing idea, do I recommend Desert Golfing by Captain Games? Sure, if you want a stripped-down mobile game. As a little teaser, this game does have an ending, a simple yet cathartic one. So just do my little challenge about 10 times the amount of holes, and you're good. Oh, and the developer has made a follow-up called Golf on Mars, so look out for that one in the Patreon polls. Thanks for watching. This video is another weird one while making the next real video about Dark Souls. Did you enjoy it? Please tell me. I certainly had a time making it. The Dark Souls video is well underway, closing in on 20,000 words, with about half of the 4 main areas after Anor Londo being covered. After that we still have the DLC, the last boss, and the conclusion part of the video left, so we'll see how it turns out. Actually, I have a job now. That means less stuff on the channel, even though my output has been awful lately. Sorry about that, and again, thanks for watching.